The JavaScript console is a part of your web browser that most of the time is hidden, and most users never see their console, but as a programmer you're really going to need to use it quite a lot. The quickest way to see your console is to right-click and select the Inspect option. Now I happen to be using Google Chrome, so I know that the shortcut is for me to hold down Command Option J on my Mac keyboard. But most browsers, if you right-click on the page, there'll be some kind of Inspect or Inspect Element option that when you click it, you'll see a section pop up below your page or possibly over to the right here that contains a bunch of code, and when you hover over it, it might do something weird like highlight different areas of your screen. And what it allows you to do is inspect what is actually going on under the hood of this particular web page. The console, you'll note over here, is probably the second option over. So I'm going to click on console, and what I will get is a little area down here with a greater than symbol and a little blinky cursor. This is where you can actually enter in JavaScript commands and execute them in real time to see what they do. So the simplest way to see this is if you just were to type in a simple mathematical equation like in a calculator. So you can see that I typed in 32 plus 10 and the console gave me back 42. You can think of this as input processing and output like we talked about earlier. This is the input to the JavaScript interpreter, and then it outputs 42 after it processes that math. Now there are other things that you can type in here, but you have to follow very specific rules about what you try to do. If I were just to type in something like that, where I'm going to ask the computer, hey, just say hello world to me. And hello world is kind of a geeky tradition that whenever you're trying to get the computer to do something, you usually start by having it print out hello world. When I hit enter, you're going to get this really unhelpful red message that comes up. And this is because I'm trying to get the computer to do something without following the rules. And we'll talk about those rules a little bit later on down the road. But as for using the console, that's what you have to do to show the console. If you ever need to clear the console, in other words, make more space, or there might be times when there's tons of messages on there and it's hard to follow what's going on, you can simply right-click and go to Clear Console, and that will get rid of everything. If you don't like where the console is positioned, you can generally go over to the little three-dot menu, and you can pick where you want this to be docked. Right now it's docked at the bottom. I can click on the right side, and that will make it show up over here. You can also choose to have it in a separate window, and so now you'll see that your console will be in a completely different window. When you're done, you can just close the console and get back to your web page. But in the following videos, we're going to see how we can use that console to learn the basics of some JavaScript concepts.